it'll record our conversation. It'll record, I'm going to show you some video clips of what you look like and what the ideal stroke looks like, and also cover some drills and things so that you've got it captured on here. Okay, so you don't need to remember all this stuff. It's going to be recorded for you. Afterwards, I'll also send you through an email detailing all the drills. I know you come from the squad, and we'll go through them in the squad anyway. But you're going to have to probably go away and do some of these things by yourself because you're going to have specific things that you're going to need to work on. Yeah. So I'll send you links to all the drills within the Swim Smooth app. I don't know if you've seen that at all. Along with a month's access to it. It's a paid app, so you get a month's access. So you've got plenty of time to look at all the stuff that you need to look at, as well as like a fault fixer guide. So we'll go through that in a minute, what the particular faults are, but there'll be something for you to follow through on top of what I give you today. All right. Okay. So you shouldn't be left with any doubt about what you need to do. Sure. Okay. All right. How long have you been swimming for?
6 months. Actually trying to swim. I mean, I've been able to swim for forever, but I only actually started trying to swim lengths or whatever September last year, and then missed a couple of months in between over Christmas and what have you.
So when was when did you swim front crawl before that?
Occasionally, if I've been in the pool at a hotel. Prior to that, I've never bothered particularly.
So school is where you learn to swim. Yeah. So not much at all, really, in reality, which is actually similar to me. I kind of learned to swim at school, so I didn't drown in the canal type learning to swim, and then picked it up in my 30s. So there's a lot of people around like us who kind of have to get to this start point. You've got to start somewhere and try and make that progression. Yeah. All right, it's interesting to know that. And in terms of your goals, what's your kind of targets in terms of your swimming? So I know you went to Phoenix.
Yeah. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
The next one that I've entered that I just need to complete is the peer-to-peer thing in Bournemouth in July.
Okay.
Which is a mile or so. Got seawater and wetsuit. So
you haven't swum in a wetsuit before?
No. Well, I need to swim back to the surfboard or something like that. So no.
Okay. So peer-to-peer in July is a mile. Phoenix is a sprint, presumably.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 7:50. And when's Phoenix?
21st of May.
Okay. You've never swum in a wetsuit before. You are going to love swimming in wetsuits. Okay. You are going to love swimming in a wetsuit because I'll tell you what. I'll show you why in a minute. Wetsuits lift you up in the water, and it's going to make you feel completely different in the water. It's going to make it a lot easier for you. You're going to have to deal with the outdoor swimming thing. Like it's a completely different atmosphere to being in the pool for obvious reasons. You can't see where you're going. You need to sight and that kind of stuff. And we can talk about that actually, maybe nearer the time, not today, but how you can adapt your stroke. Things you need to be aware of for that. But wetsuits were designed for a guy like me. I'll tell you now, your legs are low in the water. Yeah. You probably know that anyway. I'm a low leg person. I have to work hard to get my legs up. You're very similar to that. I like wetsuits, and they design wetsuits for blokes like us because, and women as well, because the reality is most age groupers have an issue with their body position in the water. Unless you haven't learnt to swim as a kid and you're like a super fish, and natural. Most people are like this in the water. Their legs are down quite low. And that's why wetsuits have different thicknesses of neoprene to make the legs be more buoyant than the body. All right. So you're going to if you get the right wetsuit, it'll make it. If you get the wrong one, it'll be different.
Ian Dickens is the lovely one.
Okay. Right. Well, Ian's will be the right type of wetsuit for you. I know the way Ian swims, so I'll be very surprised if it's the wrong type of wetsuit. But we can have a chat about that second. Yeah. All right. What do you think? What do you think is your issue? Or your kind of, if you were to name one or two major things you struggle with?
Well, first thing I would say is breathing.
Okay.
Is a big problem.
Yeah.
The second thing is just feeling like I'm too low in the water.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm dragging my legs, and I seem to have a really inconsistent kick. So sometimes it seems like I'm just kicking, other times it seems like I pause and then have a quick kick to breathe, and I can't work out whether I should breathe to the left or the right. I seem to breathe both sides. I tell whether one's better than the other or not.
So you can breathe both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can to some extent I can breathe bilaterally as well.
Yeah.
It depends a little bit. If I get it wrong early, then forget it. But
Yeah.
if I can find a rhythm, then actually with bilateral I can swim for, it seems, quite a long way. But I feel like because I feel like I've gone backwards, I can't. I don't know is the answer. I don't know which feels better or feels right or what I'm trying to do. Really.
Okay. Well, the fact that you can breathe bilaterally, and obviously I've seen you breathing bilaterally in the squad, but I've never really kind of spoken too much about how much you prefer one or the other. If you're telling me that you don't really know, then we're going to go for bilateral. We're going to try and make it work that way because that's the best way of giving you a balanced stroke.
Yeah.
A lot of people, me particularly, I favour breathing on one side. I find it really difficult, same as most people. A lot of people do breathing on the other side. So, but being super balanced in the water isn't the be all and end all.
No.
We can worry about that further down the line. A lot of Olympians, Alistair Brownlee, for example, he will breathe single side. Unilaterally, he can breathe on both sides, but he'll choose to breathe on one side all the time. So
I tend to just breathe. So whichever, it varies from whichever side I start on really, but I tend to always look the same side. So whether I'm going that way or that way, I'll always look out the window or I'll always look in.
Yeah.
And that means I do one length one side, one length on the other side. And
well, that's really good.
But like I say, I don't know. I can't tell what feels more comfortable.
Okay. All right. We can obviously go through some of that stuff today. All right. So it's always good to get a bit of background so we know where we're coming from. So we'll have a look and start playing this through. Now, obviously, we start with kind of side on, so normal kind of coach's view, if you like, from the side of the pool. And this shows us several things. So first of all, I'm looking at head position. So I always start with head position. Head position and breathing are the first two things that we kind of look at in terms of stroke correction. We'll have a look at the breathing a bit closer from one of the other camera angles, but we'll have a look at your head position first of all. And then what we're seeing first of all, of course, and you're no doubt aware of this, is how high you're lifting your head out of the water. Right? And that's because you're trying to get the breath in. You're trying to get the breath in there. Now, you can see from that straight away that you're lifting your head up because you want to get that breath. You can see you gasping there, opening your mouth. Now, you can see how much clearance you've got there. All right. Now, the further higher up you lift your head, the further your legs are going to drop down. All right. And if you're breathing every stroke, which you were during this, that's going to happen a lot. Of course, if you breathe every fourth stroke, it's going to happen half as often. Your legs are going to drop half as often. So if we kind of dip under the water.
Every fourth stroke, I've got no chance at all. When we've tried those drills where it's like 2, 4, 6, or 3, 5, 7, I'm just inhaling water.
Yeah. Okay, so we're dropping underneath the water here. And yeah, you're right. I mean, there's you're lifting your head up here. So your whole face is out in the water. And we can see what happens is that it causes, there's a couple of other things causing it, but causing the body to drop down in the water. And of course what we're looking at in terms of trying to improve people's swimming is there's two major components. There's propulsion and there's drag. We're trying to increase propulsion, we're trying to reduce drag. Most people's issues when they're fairly new to swimming or kind of developing is more a case of we need to reduce that drag down. Imagine your body, the reason you're getting so out of breath is because you're trying to pull your body all this through the water here. And it's a lot of drag. It's a lot of drag, and it's hard work. It's hard work. So we have got to get those legs up higher so that if I show you, you'll no doubt have seen some of the other girls. I always think about girls when I talk about this, with blokes as well, just as much. In the other lanes, kind of their body position in the water. If I show you someone like Rebecca Adlington. I mean, that's the ideal kind of body position. I mean, you look at her bottom and her hips are right on the surface of the water there, and her legs closely following behind. So ideally, we want to be swimming we want to be swimming almost through a tube, like you're swimming. So your legs follow behind your body line. That's what we're trying to aim for. Easier said than done, of course, but that's the kind of thing we're trying to look for. All right. So we need to try and find out. That's interesting. It does record crashes as well, so you'll get all these on there as well. Hasn't happened for a while actually. So. What was it? April, wasn't it? So we need to figure out what's happening to get those legs up. All right, what we can do to get those legs up, what's causing it. Now, we've already talked about one of the things, the head being lifted up out of the water. Right up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you what it should look like. I mean, no doubt you're aware of what it should look like from the squad and this kind of stuff, but just so as you've got it on here, and again you can visualise it, when we talk about Popeye breathing.
Yeah, no, see, that's something that I'm struggling with, I think, more psychologically than anything else.
Yeah, okay.
With, I understand the, head in the water, you create a pocket, but I don't feel like I'm actually going fast enough to create a pocket. And I think that's why I end up inhaling so much water every second.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, literally, it's terrible.
And that is very true. That is very true. We'll talk about the propulsion side of it in a second. But just for now, I just want you to kind of visualise that's the kind of thing we're trying to achieve. All right, ideal world again. So the head stays nice and low. We end up with this bow wave that we talked about, and a little pocket there for you to breathe into. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And you can see from yours that you actually don't need to lift quite as high as you are, because you do have a lot of clearance there. So, head position. All right. Now, the next thing, and the obvious thing with your stroke, is your stroke rate. So, if I just play this real time, your stroke rate is 43 strokes a minute.
Right.
Okay. That's on the low scale. It's on the low scale of low.
Right.
All right. So, of course, what's making you go through the water is your arms are ultimately your paddles, if you like. We can talk about the efficiency of the stroke itself. But if your stroke rate to start off with is so low, then you're going to be losing that momentum. You're not going to get the momentum to get yourself up higher in the water to generate that speed, which makes the bow wave. So your stroke rate is certainly something that we need to look at. All right. Now, 43 strokes a minute. And I get people to push up their stroke rates, and they get to the point, I can't go any faster, I can't go any faster. It's not physically possible to go any faster. And with training, you can get your stroke rate up to 100.
Yeah.
And I'll show you.
I watched that ramp test that thing that was amazing. That guy was just.
Have you ever seen this? This might be it actually. Have you ever seen this guy? Harry Wiltshire. Harry Wiltshire was the first pro out of the water at Kona last year. All right, British guy. Stroke isn't the tidest in the world. Some pool coaches would have a heart attack with him because he just splashes about all over the place. But super high cadence, he can swim like that for an hour. All right. He's a fit lad. He's a fit lad.
But he can't. I mean, okay, he's probably 30 kilos lighter than me, maybe. But
it's nothing to do with weight.
This is where I can't get my head around. So I'm sure if you said, right, go and swim at 60 strokes a minute, you counted them. I could do a length, maybe 2 lengths.
Yeah.
But I would be using so much muscle force to do it. I'd fatigue.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
From that perspective, rather than before breathing, probably.
But there are other reasons why you're finding it difficult. So the next thing we're going to look at is whether you're holding your breath in the water. All right. So the breaths that you take have to be clean breaths.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
So I feel like I breathe out through my nose
Okay.
the whole time my face is in the
Okay. All right.
I might be wrong.
So we'll have a look. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. So you've just taken a breath there.
Yeah.
There's a little trickle coming out. We can see something coming out there. But what I suspect is going to happen, we'll have a closer angle in a minute, is the bulk of it is coming out there late.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you are taking a breath, and then you're you're blowing it all out at the last second.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're reducing down your window for you to breathe back in again, because your body's going, I'm about to breathe in, but I've got all this in, I've got to get it out. So you're going out, 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 and then you're running out of time to get the actual full breath in.
Yeah.
By the time you turn your head, you should be empty. So you can just go back in again. All right. So that's certainly one thing that we're going to work on today.
Okay.
And we do some of these things in the squad, but the difficulty with the squad is it's constantly moving, and you do this, and then move on. There's no concentrated effort on let's keep on doing this until we can make progress with it.
So is that then perhaps why on the occasions that I've tried to concentrate on bilateral, so I'm every third straight,
Yeah.
it's perhaps works a bit better because I'm actually getting
You probably get more out.
more out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're reducing down your opportunity to breathe out and swimming, breathing every second stroke. Absolutely.
Okay.
So you're having to go, and you'll probably feel like you get the build-up of
And if I increase the stroke rate, that's only going to get worse, not better.
Yeah, because your effort levels are going to go up. You're going to need more air to oxygen to supply your muscles. The effort level is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
All right. That's why breathing is so important for you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So it's not massively obvious because there is a little bit of a trickle coming out there. You can just see it bubble, 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 just out the nose. But the bulk of it, you see there.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
that works. So that's how it feels.
Yeah. So not only are you doing that, it makes it difficult for you to breathe. You're having to rotate further to give yourself that additional time that you need to get the air in.
Yeah.
So you're going right onto your side and spending a long time there, and then what that causes is a big collapse on this side. So it throws your timing out.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have a look from the other angle in a minute, which will show this clearer. But you're spending so much time breathing in here because of the breathing out issue.
Yeah.
That you're breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. This arm shouldn't be down here. So what this is doing now is it's making the problem worse for you because you're losing the support at the front end of the stroke. As soon as that arm goes down, there ain't nothing holding you up. So you're going down. As soon as that arm goes down, the rest of your body will start. You can see your chest starting to come down here.
Yeah, and I think that's also why sometimes I feel like my kick goes because I kick a bit harder to try and.
Your kick, you can see your leg splitting there. That is happening because of this.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't need to worry about that. When we fix that, that'll sort itself out.
Yeah.
All right. So some people get hung up on kicking. Yeah, you can tidy up your kick and things like that. But that is caused by this. And ultimately, that's what you get with swimming: is you get actions and reactions. So it's not. Sometimes a lot of coaches will get you to fix the reaction.
Yeah.
Whereas the best way of doing it is to fix the cause.
Problem, and then
So that's what we're looking at here. All right. So this is all related to your breathing at the moment.
Yeah.
All right. So head position breathing and stroke rate we've covered so far. Now I'm going to nip ahead here to overhead. Now, and this is just going to kind of almost emphasise what we've already spoken about. So, I'm looking at your hand entry here and how straight you are in the water. So, ideally, when we're swimming down the lane, of course, we want to be ideally like this. Everything going in the direction of travel. And again, just so as you've got it on here, it's always nice to see what it should, in a perfect world, look like. Some people don't like it because they kind of feel like, oh God, I know. You don't have to show me,
No,
type thing.
I'd rather know what I'm trying to
Let's see if we can. Here we go.
understand what I'm trying to look like.
So this guy is John Van Hazel. Okay, so John Van Hazel is an Olympian. This is the guy. I don't know if you've ever seen this animation, but this is. You can download this. It's a free app.
I've got the free version.
Yeah. Okay. This is this guy, animation guy, is modelled on John Van Hazel.
Right.
Okay. So, and this is him. And what I'm talking about, the alignment here is these tram lines. We do all that time kicking on the side and doing the javelin drill and all this kind of stuff. And the whole idea, get rid of those lines, is to try and make sure that this line is straight. Right? That line is straight. Where's leg is?
Yeah.
Everything stays in nice and in alignment. Get rid of that second. Play it through. So his hand is now pulling under the water. It's not slipping away underneath him. It's actually holding the water. And then the recovering arm comes over the top, spears in front of the shoulder, nice and straight, and extends and stays straight.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to achieve. That's what we're always trying to achieve. All right. So now, and yours actually isn't too bad. Your hand is entering in front of your shoulder. It's heading over that direction a little bit, but it's not too. What's going on with this?
It's not looking at me. I can't do this.
It's funny. It used to crash a lot. It doesn't. We'll have to ignore these bits, John. I'm afraid. Where were we? Okay. So, entering. It's heading over that way a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's more or less in front of your shoulder. That's fine. Your legs are splitting here because that arm is on its way down.
Yeah.
All right, and it's going. Oh Christ! I've got to balance up here.
Yeah.
Balance myself up. Over rotating. So line rolling right onto the side. You're only over rotating because you're trying to get that breath in. All right. Big breath, big breath, big breath. His arm is falling right the way down here. And then you've got to take a stroke. So you've got to throw that arm over. And because your timing is out, that arm has gone too early because of your breathing. It throws the rest of the stroke out. You get all out of shape. And that's all
just
because of the timing.
Exacerbate it each time, isn't it?
It's all because of the timing. The legs are just splitting. That's only because of the top end. If you get out of shape this end, you get out of shape that end. It's the same. And then you kind of got a bit of a bend in the back, but it's all related to the same stuff. All right. So let's have a look on the other side. So actually, when you on the non-breathing side, it's better. It's better. We need to get the whole thing lined up really. So okay. So I'm not too concerned about your stroke as such, right? The first things we need to work on for you is, when I say your stroke, I mean the kind of the quality of the catch and put through into the water. The issues we need to work on with you are definitely the breathing, and I think once we get the breathing right, your stroke rate will naturally start to increase.
Yeah. I think what I'm doing, consciously or subconsciously, is I'm trying to regulate the stroke rate because I know my breathing's a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, if I try and stroke harder, and that's what I was doing yesterday, was I ended up doing lengths that actually felt quite good from a swimming perspective, but only because they felt physical as opposed to rolling over and stuff like that. But I was out of breath by the time I got to the end. But I felt it much more in my muscles after yesterday's session for doing that, because I'm forcing myself through the water to make sure that I'm sort of staying up and getting rid of breath. So it's, it's working against me, but it almost felt. I think I got a bit better yesterday. So that's what I did in the end, just to try and.
And that's kind of why I've been kind of having a bit of a nag at you to try and, because we need a session like this to take, because you can only see, I can't see you holding your breath in the squad sessions. I suspect you are, but we can't really kind of work on it very much.
See, I don't think I am, but what I'm clearly doing is I'm breathing out slowly to start with. and then accelerating the out breath, which is causing the problem with the in. And I can't seem to blow out through my mouth either. If I try and blow out through my mouth, I swallow and I just end up inhaling a swallow water. If I breathe out through my nose, I'm definitely
that's something itself that we need to work on a little bit, because you're going to be able to get so much more air out through your nose. Obviously, your nose is going to be a little bit more restricted because the nasal passages and things. I mean, you can see from this angle a little bit better, taking your breath. There's not a huge amount coming out there. And it's not until you start to turn, I suspect you've still got a load in there now.
Yeah.
Because you can see when people exhale, there's a load in there.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a few litres of air in there. So you're breathing out and in at that point. So, and that arm is just sweeping wide because you're trying to get that extra little few seconds on the side there to breathe.
Well, I'm trying to lift myself up to
stay
over water.
It's like a lever trying to lift yourself up. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I mean, that's so. We're going to spend the bulk of the time working on that.
Yeah.
All right. I could say to you, we've got to sort your catch out. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Got to do the other. There's no point doing any of that until we get you to the point where you're feeling and you're suddenly relaxed, and then everything will start to fall into place.
Yeah.
And then we'll deal with the other stuff. You know, phase B, if you like, phase 2, or whatever you want to call it. So
it's just getting this bit right is going to make a real difference, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's just see what else. And the beauty of this stuff is it's stuff that you can. It's fairly easily fixable. Now you know what the problem is, and we know how we're going to deal with it. I'll go through that within a second. Just practice, and it's just putting time in, and it will start to become naturally. I'm not saying anything extra from here, because I think all the issues that I'm seeing are related to the same thing. Even the stroke rate, like I say, the stroke rate will start to increase naturally.
Yeah, see, that was a perfect example of it, wasn't it? So we're in there, hardly anything coming out.
Yeah.
And then
a little bit coming out your nose, so you've got a big,
But that happens sometimes, and that's when I take a breath, I get water in my mouth, so I have to either swallow the water or spit the water out before I can start breathing out.
Right.
So that's where sometimes it's gone slightly wrong, and I end up with almost like a half breath in a stroke.
So you've only got a half breath. So you're even more desperate for the next one. So you need even more time on the next breath to make sure you get it in. All right. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Your body position will naturally start to improve once we start to sort out some of the other things, because improving the head position, the breathing, is going to improve your stroke rate, which is going to automatically make you go faster.
Yeah. It will help with the lift.
Yeah. Your timing will be improved, so you won't be losing the support at the front end of the stroke, which the front end starts to slip down, and then you have to kickstart with the legs to get yourself down.
And then the timing's all gone.
It's all related to the same thing. So, all right. So what we're going to do today then is we're going to do some sink downs. And I know we've done those in the squad, but we're going to spend a little bit more time working on these. So we've done those in this one. Yeah. So a big breath out, and you can see this guy over here, look. He's not fully exhaling, and you're doing the bob around. He's struggling to get down. These girls obviously do it all day long. You can tell the ones that do it easily. They're sinking, she's sinking like a stone, look. And then he's kind of getting used to it and starting to tune in when he's bobbing back up again, like. Some people just really struggle with it.
See, when we did those, I must admit, I felt quite uncomfortable with the sensation of, because I could breathe out and sunk quite quickly, but I felt quite uncomfortable being sat on the bottom with no air in
it. Yeah. Well, at that point, it should be a constant. So the point where you hit no air is the point you push yourself back up. So you're not sitting at the bottom, twiddling your thumbs with no air in your lungs. It's a constant exhalation. So they've got bubbles all the way. So we're not asking people to blow out and then to go down. They're blowing out on the way down, empty now, back up. And that's exactly what we're trying to achieve.
Okay.
It's not a breath in and then empty, 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 wait for the next breath. It's a constant exhalation.
Yeah.
And you just empty just as you take a turn of breath.
And so I was doing those wrong then, because what I was doing is I was breathing out on the surface.
Yeah.
And then sinking.
Yeah.
And then thinking, not sure I like this very much. Because it's different, isn't it? When if you've got air in you, and you go down in the water and what have you, actually you feel okay. You can sort of, because I'm not afraid of water. I've just never got into swimming more than I've had to, really, because I've never been any good at it. So I was like, But
you will enjoy it.
I think I will.
you once you feel more relaxed.
Stop me doing it, trying to put it in for donkey shoes.
I don't think I've got bubble bubble breathe on here because I don't think it really shows you very much. But so ultimately, we'll get you to swim with the fins on because the fins just takes that pressure off. Because we're focusing it on breathing. We don't want to be focusing in on getting enough propulsion to actually get through the water. We want to focus on one thing. So we put the fins on and we do the bubble bubble breathe drill. And of course, again, we've done this in the squad, but now you know why you're doing it. We're speaking into the water because we're trying to get all that air out. So by saying the word bubble, and then bubble, bubble, breathe, because you're breathing on both sides every third stroke.
Yeah.
All right, and you get tuned into that, and that immediately.
So when I'm actually swimming, I say bubble,
you say,
bubble.
People don't realise I actually mean. Yeah, you actually say the word.
Okay.
You say that because speaking is breathing out.
Yeah.
So that's and you should be able to kind of you can hear people going along if they're doing it right. But what people do is they go bubble bubble and they say breathe rather than breathing in, which always causes a bit of a because they then realise they're not breathing as well. So it's bubble bubble.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to spend some time working on that. Depending on how the time goes, if we can get that working quite nicely, I'm going to take you into kicking on the side drill, which again we do all the time. None of the drills we're going to do today are anything that you won't have done before, but we've just got a bit more reason to do them, and we know why we're trying to do them. That's been moved. I've dragged some of these around by mistake. There we go. And the beauty of the kicking on the side drill, but for you, this is a multi-fixer. We call it multi-fixer. So if you look at Paul here, what he's doing is he's breathing out, breathing in, and he is practicing, while he's kicking on the side, what we're going to be getting used to do. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, constant exhalation. All right, so you can practice this while you're doing the drills.
Yeah.
You should always be doing it. So even when you're doing the drills, you breathe the same way as you will doing the full stroke. All right. So nice and relaxed.
So that's one of the ones I've really been struggling with, because every time I'm breathing out through my nose or what, I don't know, but every time I go under, I get water going up my nose. So maybe I just need to get used to breathing out through the mouth.
I think it's going to really help you. Yeah. I mean, I've actually got quite restricted nasal passages. I would really struggle with it. Yeah. And even the clearest nasal, they're going to get as much out as you are through your mouth.
That makes sense.
So
somebody points it out.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no, it's true, and we'll try it. We'll do some sink downs. We'll try and breathe out through your nose when you do a sink down. You won't get it out.
Yeah.
Try it through the mouth, and you'll get used to the regulation, so you don't get water in there as well. All right, so kicking on the side drill. So just quickly then, going to help you work on alignment, and also, of course, what he's doing here is, we said you were breathing. As you take a breath here, as you're breathing, that lead arm is disappearing and you're losing support. It allows you to practice, play it real time. It allows you to practice breathing, but that lead arm staying high. That lead arm staying high, so it's not losing the support. So it's practicing breathing, it's practicing the lead arm staying high, it's practicing the alignment and nice straight in the water. And then, of course, we move on to 6-1-6, where we introduce a stroke, and then 6-3-6, where we start to build it up more like a full stroke. But we've got to get to that point yet. All right? So, any questions or anything?
Yeah.
All right? It's not a massive surprise, but it's nice just to kind of, it's fairly obvious what the issue is, which is good, because it's good to get stuck into. So, all right. Good. All right, well, I'll switch this off then. I'll get this...